Hello, everyone. I'm super excited today. I've got a very inspiring lady with me. She's had a fabulous career. She's been the OG supermodel. She's been a presenter, a motivational speaker, and probably I would say, she's the kind of things she's done, with the background she's had and to reaching where she is today. It's very inspiring. So, welcome, Anupama, to the new episode. It's always a pleasure to chat with you and to know insights on your journey. So to begin with, I'll straight away get down to it. Coming from an army background to the entertainment industry, how did it happen?
Firstly, hi Siddhant. It's totally my pleasure being here. And yeah, so the one legacy which I don't get to ever really speak about or haven't spoken about is really where I come from because who I am really is where I come from and my upbringing. So I'm so happy that you asked me this question. Yes, so my dad was a fighter pilot in the Indian Air Force. So when I was always asked back in the day that what does your dad do? I used to say he's a fighter pilot, but the truth is he wasn't a fighter pilot. He was a deputy chief of the Indian Air Force with three gallantry awards: the Vayu Sena Medal, the Ati Varsha Seva, the Param Varsha Seva. But I think at that time I was shy, and one thought speaking about is loud, and it's always nice to stay modest. But today I feel I own it. He's not with us now, but I own it. This is who I am, and that's my legacy. So yeah, so I grew up always on the edge in the sense dad was night flying, and there were twice he ejected, and the aircraft caught fire. And I have memories as a kid where the phone rings and my mother picks it up, and she's crying. Cut to we are in the hospital, and dad's completely in plaster. So yeah, that's how it was. And yeah, and my grandfather also, my maternal side, he was in the British Army.
Okay.
So I've heard stories from my grandmother because they dined and wined with the likes of Lord Mountbatten and Field Marshal Manekshaw, Sam Manekshaw. So when I saw the movie, it was like I knew scene to scene. I'd heard so much about him, and the core was caught in the film.
Right.
Yeah, so that's it. And if you go through the book of the defense book where people who made a difference, and my grandfather's name and my dad's name both appear in it, and that's a great matter of pride for me, and I'm very proud of it. I own it completely.
Wow. Wow. Also, you've been the OG supermodel. You have walked the ramp for many OG designers back in the day. You've in fact seen the golden era of fashion. So I
Yes.
would want to know, according to you, from that time, how do you think the fashion industry has evolved, in today's time? And what is your take on that?
There are both ways. It's evolved means it's become larger than life, but in terms of the way it was very concentrated and very specific and very what you say, like primed to say in a way. But now fashion has spread so much because things are online. Earlier it was there were designers, and these were the key designers. They were celebrities in their own rights, and everybody knew who's who, and you're shooting for so and so, and you're walking for so
Yeah.
and so. So to that extent, I feel that part is lost. Because now everybody's got intermingled. So, I mean, there are a lot. We knew the names of all the designers, but today there are so many, which obviously gives opportunity to a lot of people. But it's different. It's just
Right.
different now, and everything is so easily available. So the novelty factor is obviously less then.
Okay. I think even in today's time, when I go probably clubbing and, go anywhere, I hear that famous song, Boom Boom, which you were the one, the face behind it, when with Bidu and Nazia Hassan, when you had, acted in that music
Yeah.
video. Um, how did that happen? It became such a big sensation that even today there's so many remixes coming out of it, and, things are, it's still being played today, after so many years since you've been in that. So how does that make you feel, and how did it come to you, this video?
So to begin with, I actually lost my name. Nobody called me by my name. I was called the Boom Boom Girl. So
Okay.
everywhere I would go to be Boom Boom. So that became kind of like my identity. But I was happy with it because I loved Nazia and Zohit.
Yeah.
Growing up, listening to them, and to think that I was called to do a song for her, and So yeah, I mean, she was not featured in the video at that time, but they asked me to do the song, and it came about again by accident. Like my whole profession is just it's just been inadvertently. It's not been a planned process, you know, where you know this is what I'm going to do, and I'm this showbiz is my industry. So even Boom Boom, it was on one of my assignments when I was in Bombay, and I was flying off to Paris to shoot for Bronze Silk Appeal. It's a German brand, and they were shooting with a French director. And I remember I got a call from Ken Ghosh's office, and he said, "I want you to come and screen test for this music video." And to be honest, I didn't know anything about a music video because there was only one that made in India, which we knew. And I went, and he gave me these few lines, and he said, "You know, try and memorize these lines." I had to run for my flight, and he said, "I'm going to just follow you with the video cam and just kind of lip sync these lines." So he said, "You take 10 minutes. I took like a minute and a half because I wanted to impress him that, you know, I'm kind of going to do it so well. And I just did the lip sync, and he followed me with the video cam. And then he just said that, "Okay, you're on." And then next time the designer came in because I was flying out. And the day I arrived back, we were leaving for Bangalore to the palace to shoot. And I was going to go on a vacation from Paris to my cousins in London, and I told my dad that I'm not going and I'm going to do because I want to do this song. So he said, "What do you mean you're going to do this song?" I said, "No, I get this gut feel." So I've always been one of these gut feel people. Okay. So I said, he says, "You and your damn gut feel, that's like very defense language, you know." So he was like, "Why would you give up on your holiday?" I said, No, I think I got to do this. I got to do this. Yeah. And I did it, and I came back and we flew out. So the first scene of the video is I came back from Paris in that skirt and that bag I bought, and we got up from the car after the airport at the palace, and Ken said, "Okay, come on, we are shooting." Right. And it was just done, and I think it just worked very well for all of us, and I loved the song. The song was beautiful.
I think it's such a catchy and a peppy song that even till today it's been played everywhere. So kudos to you. You know, it was because of you, you know, this thing happened, and you know, you were the face behind it. So, you know, people still remember that. So
thank you. But I think for that matter, all these songs are fantastic. Right. Nasia and Zohib are another level.
Also, you know, I want to know, you know, you've been a part of a lot of ad campaigns as well. You know, what was any memorable campaign that you would like to talk about?
Okay, so my ad journey also was actually really accidental. I remember being spotted by Shantanu Shore, who was the biggest name in the advertising world. He was like the thing, and they were scouting for a new face for 2 campaigns. And at the Delhi Gymkhana, I was a little teenage kid, and never used makeup, never used gloss on my face. And he was with this couple friends who knew us, who knew my mom. My mom used to, you know, visit her boutique as well. And she just called me and introduced me to him, you know, randomly. And then she said he's going to come back and he's going to do a for me. I didn't know what a screen test is. All I was interested was my ice cream was melting back there, and I wanted to go back to that. So that's where it started. But so that was a big one because he was so big that you know, his discovery before my first 2 ads, which he you know, finalized me for. We went through the whole screen test. There were 20 girls. That's another long story. I think we're going to take away your time on this. So I got both the campaigns, and obviously I was a mute kid in the sense that I was so shy that I wouldn't open my mouth. And so I remember even landing at the shoot, and they were like, "But she doesn't speak." And he would say, wait till the camera comes on. So I think that's something I discovered about myself, that the moment the camera came on, there was a new persona which came on, and then back to being mute. So yeah, so this was one of obviously my biggest break. And then before that release, I just got a whole bunch of ad campaigns because I guess I was his discovery and whatever little clippings that come out. And my biggest one was that I was the first face of L'Oreal in India. Oh, wow. So that time it was Garnier. And I think that was a biggie because I used to live in Delhi. I hadn't moved to Bombay at all. And I used to just come and go. I was still studying. Then I went ahead and completed. All this was all during my educated years. And so there was so they called me once, and I'd done a screen test for another skin product, and I got called by the agency saying that we need you for a screen test, and they flew me like one evening that you have to come now. And I remember at night at 9 o'clock they did the screen test in the agency, and we were not told what it is for. And apparently a lot of them had seen. Everyone's waiting for that fax. It was fax at that time to know who was chosen. I went back to Delhi, and that fax came that, with my name, that she has been chosen. And then that was Garnier then, and then later, I mean, L'Oreal, the first Ultra Doux was the first shampoo by
Right.
Garnier, which is like a branch of L'Oreal. And so then they contracted me for that. I couldn't advertise my face for anything for that period of 2 years.
Okay.
And I could do shootings and I could do other things. So
Right.
it was suited me fine because I was studying and I would get a paycheck every month. And I was like, this is like unreal.
Right.
I didn't ask for it and I was blessed. So I'm in a lot of gratitude for that.
I've been seeing, probably even back then till today, you look the same probably. Fitness has been such a big thing, in terms of, I think, in your journey as well. How do you rate fitness, in today's day and age, and what are your kind of tips you'd like to give people, in terms of a good healthy life?
I think that's so kind because I don't think I can look the same, but I think fitness for me has always been a way of life. Even as a young girl, I was always, in athletics. I did gymnastics till the age of 12. There was a time where my parents thought of putting me in professional sports because that's where my draw was. But then, because in our country, there was nothing really in athletics for girls at that time. So he said, I don't want my daughter to be, you know, traveling around the place without proper arrangements, and there was nothing. I mean, sports took a different turn, and I still think
Yeah.
athletics has a long way to go.
Yeah.
But and besides that, so I think it was a passion. So my day is never complete till I do some form of running or exercise. Or then I obviously later was introduced to the gym, and besides that, I'm a huge foodie. So I believe in earning my calories, not burning. So if I don't exercise, I don't want them. So I have to exercise too. So it's just been a waste. I never dieted. I never have. Now this is something I don't want to. This is not a message I want to give, because if you need to diet, you've got to diet. There are things which are not good for you. They're not good for you. I'm just saying that this worked for me because I ate everything in moderation, with sweets as an exception in the extreme. And I don't drink or smoke, so I guess there I save on a lot of calories.
Okay.
So, but I eat everything. I always have like proper meals and burn the excess.
Tell me something, in terms of modeling, the world of modeling, how has it evolved, in today's time with probably even the social media and influencers coming in? What is
Yeah.
your take on that? Because I see a lot of fashion influencers, a lot of content creators, are wearing, designer clothes and, doing the bit which models used to do back in the day. So, what is
Yeah.
your take on that?
I know. So it's a different new world. Honestly, it perplexes me,
Right.
and I definitely think it's more stressful now because I'm a great one on social media. Not very proud of it. I'm supposed to be on it all the time, but I don't know. I guess it's fun to be connected. It's great to connect with fans, friends, whatever. But I can't do it. If my personality is not such that I have to be on top of it, because I need to live life also.
Right.
I need time for everything, and I've seen friends, I've seen people who are active myself, and I feel okay, I need to post, and I feel, oh my god, so many hours have gone trying to build that one thing, unless, I mean, of course you do it professionally, but I think it's so much stress because one is trying to compete with the other, and how many you put in, how many followers, and so I
Right.
think it's a very stressful world out there. I mean, earlier your work spoke for you, now you're
Yeah.
creating your work.
Right.
That time you were called on a job, you had to perform that job. And
Right.
that job is going to speak for you, that how well you did, how well you acted on that project, because that is what was entrusted to you.
Right.
Today, you can pick up any topic and you create a project, and which is
Right.
fantastic because there's so much I've also learned in terms of, whether it's fitness or diet or wisdom. It's
Yeah.
all from the
Right.
podcast.
Right.
And it's great, but I think it's a very tough life out there in this world of social media. I think people just need to take it easy. I think if you just took it easy, your life will be better, you'll feel
Yeah.
better, you'll look better, you'll be happier.
Right.
But I guess it is what it is. And you
Also,
live more for
I
this.
want to ask you something. If you have to give a message to the youth of today,
Yes.
in terms
Yes.
of a positive message when it comes to even education, how important education is in today's life, to change. You should always have a backup plan. And, if
Yes.
something doesn't work for you, there's always something to fall back on.
To
So,
fall back on.
yeah.
Yes.
So, how, according to you, you think, in today's time, the youth and the education plays a big role in their life?
So this is a great question, and I think my one answer, if you say, what do you want to tell the youth? I will say education, education, education. I mean, many times people would say, like I was told when, I was 15, why are you studying? What are you doing? You've gone crazy, because I went ahead and did my master's, I did my business economics, and I majored with a double major in marketing and finance. I trained with Citibank, though I already had a very flourishing career, but when I did well in my first year, I said I want that
Yeah.
division, first division, and I
Right.
want that certificate that
Yeah.
tomorrow if I change my mind, I have something to fall back on. Which of course it didn't happen. I took a break. I said I'll pursue this, and with God's grace, it went well. But I have noticed this: if you have education, this profession, whether you admit it or not, does come with a lot of insecurities. Every day is a new day, it's a new challenge. I mean, at the time I was there, I was primarily a model. So you go for auditions, you do like 4 or 5 auditions a day, you get selected for some, you don't get selected for one. You're so young, you don't even know how to completely understand that it's in my stride. But I always felt, oh, this is like a side thing. My education is my main thing. So
Right.
that I think protected me a lot from all the external insecurities. Whereas I did see colleagues sometimes get very upset when they didn't get something. They would go into a low for days and days. I mean, even I felt disappointed when sometimes things wouldn't work out. But then I would say, oh, maybe it's not for me. Maybe I got to do something else, because that thing at the back of me was telling me all the time, listen, you can do other things.
Yeah.
And besides that, your whole persona, your personality, the way you view life, everything is your education.
Yeah.
Having said that, worldly wisdom is important, which I lacked. I learned very late in life, but that's important too. So I think today they have worldly wisdom, but not the academic knowledge.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now it comes to a fun segment, the rapid fire round. These are just to know you more personally. So these are going to be quick questions and quick answers from your side.
Okay.
So
Okay.
to begin with, I want to know, what is your all-time favorite holiday destination to unwind?
Rome, Italy. I belong there. I belong there. I wish I could live there. I just went there and I felt I fitted in. Everything is so beautiful. It was like a postcard come alive.
Right. Okay. You're one of the contemporaries which you look up to,
Who I really, really
admire, and you
admired.
look up to. Yeah.
I mean, at that time or
Yeah.
now?
At that time.
At that time, I mean, she was already a huge model. I mean, she had, completely taken everything by storm. Still, the ramp was Meher Jessia.
Okay.
I thought I'd never seen anybody as amazing as her, as a complete package, and I was like, wow. And I remember once when I was a newbie and we did a cover, and for me, the more exciting than doing the cover was that just that I can be next to her, and I went.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I thought she was the best.
Okay. What is, according to you, in today's generation of talent of the Bollywood industry, especially, who do you think, who's really overrated?
One person who's overrated.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I'm not being diplomatic. I certainly not. I speak from my heart, but I think most of them are underrated because they're so fabulous and there's just so many around. So the
Right.
ones who deserve even the accolades don't get it. So I don't think there's anybody who's overrated. I think we used to get a lot of, pats on the back even as models. We go as DJs and have our postcards, and here I think they don't get so much as they deserve. I mean, there's phenomenal cinema being made, and
Okay.
the acting is. It would be unfair to even point anywhere. Not to say that they are who's better or not, but I'm just saying that even to say who's the best, even to say
Right.
that. So
Right.
I think they're underrated, not overrated.
Okay. What is your favorite genre of music and which is your current favorite track?
Okay, so current favorite trend I'll come to, but I'm going to go back to the genre. Please do not think that she's living in the dark ages, but I've always been the biggest Elvis fan.
Okay.
And I love music like that, but I love all kind of music. I was a VJ, so I
Okay.
had to move with the trend.
Okay.
And yeah, and I think I like Ed Sheeran. In fact, I went for his
Concert.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went for his concert, and I think it took me back to the time when I was a VJ and we would see a lot of these live concerts and dance there, and I was completely back in the mood.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is that one thing that, you've always wanted to do, but you could not dare to do it?
What I wanted to do, I
Have
wanted
you?
to bungee jump.
Okay.
I've always wanted to bungee jump. Being a fighter pilot's daughter, and heights
Right.
and speed, like speed always excited me. Like when we were in a car and they're saying, "They say, oh, it's not too fast." I'm like, "No, go, 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 go." So I said, maybe it's like in my blood, and I couldn't do it because very early I hurt my lower back playing holy as a
Okay.
teen. So I had a prolapse back, and then it led to a slip disc. So even when I work out, I have to kind of manage it. So that's something which got erased out as a possibility.
Okay.
But
According to you, the one big difference between the millennials and Gen Zs of today?
I think they're just very caught up in being recognized, and they take validation from the outside world. I always wonder, what do you want? Everything is about what the other wants.
Right.
And I think that's where all the I mean, I want to talk all nice things, but I think that's something needs to be addressed, because that's what's going to I mean, they grow up too early. The Gen Z grows up too early.
Yeah.
You know it all. So what's going to happen later in life? Like I said, wisdom came later to a lot of us, to me for sure. But if you know it all, then a little kid knows more than we do. Even on the computer or on anything technical, I have to know. And I call my neighbor's 10-year-old boy. He says, "Don't worry, Didi, I set this up for you." So that's how
Right.
it
I couldn't agree
works.
more with you. I couldn't agree more with you.
Yeah.
Great.
You just need to pace down, I think.
Yeah. So that comes to the end of the rapid fire round. Now I've got one last question for you, Anupama. You've been a part of a lot of social causes. I want to talk about a little bit about the social causes which you've been actively involved in.
Okay, so my biggest one is, which is coming soon, May 31st, is I worked as an anti-tobacco activist. I've gone into these rural areas, in these small towns where, they have no clue, and we show them these videos. And I used to work with an organization, and I've done a lot of that because I seriously believe that, that is something which is a complete no-no. Like, and I've done campaigns, I've shot campaigns for anti-smoking. And when you go into those villages, there are little kids, they don't even know, they probably don't even know, they've probably seen their parents do it. They actually touch you to see that, is this flesh, why you dressed like this? And at that age they get exposed to all of this. That's the biggest causes. But I love to stand for everything of women empowerment. When it's I even worked for a short time for AIDS combat, till my dad said enough now. And a lot, all causes I worked for, even children causes, and even also to promote entertainment among children. I've worked something on that, where children who don't get an opportunity, to somehow create an opportunity for them, and going to do something more on that as well, where they're so talented, but they don't have a platform. They don't have the privileges like all of us had, or a lot of people have. Or sometimes you see such beautiful faces when they're coming as little street children, and I'm like, gosh, I wish I could just scrub her and put her, so those kind of things. So anything which is like, even environmental causes, go green, all these causes. If there's any cause, please, I say it, call me, and I'm going to be there.
Great. It's so inspiring, hearing from you and, all the good things that you're doing. Wishing you all the very best, for everything that you're going to be achieving and all your future endeavors as well. And keep shining,
Thank
keep
you.
smiling, and hope to see you very soon when I'm in the Bay. And thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much
much,
for
Siddharth.
taking out the time to do this. It's been very inspiring, and and the kind of passion and the energy which you have is so infectious. So I too am really inspired today by the conversation we've had. So I
Thank
hope
you so
that
much.
we will.
I want to say one thing. You finish. I want to say one thing now that you said that. I'm going to leave
Right.
you all with that.
Okay. So over to
Same.
you. No, fine. Over to
Yeah.
you.
So my journey has not been as smooth as it may seem.
Right.
My journey has been a very rough ride. I don't want to get into that and get into all of that, but I'm an overcomer, and all I want to say is don't let anything ever let the joy within die. Don't let anything let the child in you get quiet,
Right.
and don't let anybody, any situation ever take away your peace.
Yeah.
That's
I
what I
can,
want to say.
that's what I'm saying.
Love you all.
I can't agree with whatever you've said. It's really so touching and so inspiring. So thank you once again, Anupama, and hope to see you very soon.
Look forward to it. Thanks.